Hey YouTube, Happy New Year. I think I might have done a live stream last night. Depends on whether I end up doing one tonight or not. Yeah, so last year I did a video of all the guitars I bought in 2021. So this one is all the guitars that I bought for the own personal collection in 2022. Obviously I've bought a few that are for sale and done up a few and all that sort of stuff, but these are the ones I kept for myself. So it starts off with the wee red bass, an Encore 30-inch scale P bass. These are not the original knobs. The original knobs were really, the really cool ones that are like notched, which are not on any of the guitars I can see just now. Had them on it, but they were a bit big. See, because the knobs are really close together. It was like you couldn't. So the Strat ones actually work better. I put them on just like this purely practical, so you can actually get your fingers around them. Put strings on it. Give it a good clean. That's about it. This chip annoys me. I need to get a good red marker pen to fill it in. Apart from that, these are fantastic wee things. I even took this into the studio with the Black Sabbath band. Just when I got it, 'cause I was like, oh, look at this. And Craig, the guitarist, is like, pure, like, I know you come in with all these crazy basses, not, but you have to draw the line at an encore. And I was like, what? He's like, he reckoned that he described this as the sort of bass that if you're at someone's house, you know, like having a few beers, and they go, I'm going to put this bass in the bin, do you want it? And you just don't bother taking it because you can't bother carrying it up the road. Some people are just weird, but so this has actually been to download. I was really enjoying playing Sabbath on it. I've got a wee tiny Dean Markley amp that fits on your belt, and it doesn't really do the bass, but it just does fuzz bass. So I was playing Sabbath, actually. I had a jam. The first time probably anyone's ever played it. Wayne worked out how to play Who Are You for some reason. Like the second song of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, or the third song, whatever it is. He was like, oh, no one's ever played that before. I was playing it in the bass. It was great. I don't know how you play it. Oh, a bit of noise there. I'm just doing the lead. Yeah, but after it, so I did the first few songs of the Sabbath set. I was like pure bending the notes and everything. I was bending them so Brian says, "Ah, that's really good sounding bass like that up here." And I was like, "Right, fucking hear that, Craig." So it does have the cheapy tuners, same as you get on a Squire Bronco. It's actually very similar to a Squire Bronco, but in some ways better. I think it's got a wider neck. It doesn't feel small. It's got a small body compared to a P-Bass, which I don't have one sitting about just now, but not hugely small. I mean, this is a 32-inch. My trusty Aria Thor sound. So this is quite a small bass, but you can see it is. It looks flipping a lot more than 2 inches bigger, doesn't it? I think maybe this is the 32-inch scale, but see, because the bridge isn't pure tight against the back of the body, you know, you could have moved the bridge there, and I'm sure they knew what they were doing. So, as I said, it's like you do get short scale basses. I've had a few of them in actually after I had this one as well. Is it who's it that makes them? I can't remember who. There's a Greg Bennett one, and there's other ones. And there's a Squire one as well. My pal's got a Squire one, and it's nothing like as good as this. This, I assume, was very cheap when it came out, but there's something about it. It's like it's nice wood that it's made out of. I basically bought it because I was going to use the neck on some sort of double neck or something, but as soon as you play it, it's like, this is fucking really good. Oh, I did have to change the... Oh, that's happened with that as well. How did that happen? Yeah, the saddle had crept back. That spring must not be strong enough, so this will be well out of tune now. Yeah. Not perfect. And saying that, I did actually... In fact, I think it's sitting there. There's the original bridge for it there. 2 saddles. kind of I want 4 saddles, one for each string, so you can intone it better. All good. Yeah, so this is such a good wee bass. Again there with the scale length, 30" as an EBO is fine, so it's not, basically what I've discovered with this is it's not the 30" that makes the EBO shit, it's the pickup, or there's something else going on as well, because I mean I don't mind 30" like a Mustang or a, see, they just made it Mustang shaped. I'm sure it would be really desirable, but they didn't. They made it sort of slightly small bodied P bass, so you just think, oh, it's a kid's guitar, and it's like, it's not. I would rock this at a gig, no bother at all. And it's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, I could put another pickup in it. The one that's in it seems to be pretty good though, and it survived in the studio with the Sabbath band. I would actually get the, if I find another one of these for this kind of price, I'm going to buy one for the bass player in Cranking House, so he's got a real bass, not the EBO. Yeah, so as I said, 2021, I think it was it 10 guitars I bought? I think it was less than one a month, which I was thinking wasn't too bad. This video's not going to be as long as that, because this... So I got this bass in at some point. I did look through all my videos to see which ones I've got. I can't remember. I bought it in sterling. I think I even did a video playing at the top of the Campsies. And then I bought a Grant bass as well, which is probably going to sound quite different to the one we've just been listening to, seeing as this was, let's just say it was 10 times the price. Was it 10 times the price? Might have been 20 times the price. I can't remember what I paid for the wee bass. I generally tend to remember. No, I can't remember. Basically, it was either a £5 or a £10 or a £15 I paid for that. I had to drive to Stirling for it, and it was it'd obviously been sitting in an attic, so it was like totally covered in ash or something, or just general soot. Pretty minging. And I did have to buy strings for it because the ones that were on it, although I tried to refurbish them, they just snapped. They were shit. Yeah, so Grant bass. Oh, there's somebody actually's got a Yoshi guitar which I've not heard back from. I need to talk to them. Oh, that volume control's maybe a little bit on the loose side. It feels very big after playing that one though. That's maybe just because it's much bigger. But I do really, I dig this. I've actually got the guitar version of it, which is what spurred me on to buy the bass. I did actually have these Grants are sort of weird ones, which I'm actually going to talk to. I'm going to have to go back to the wee guy in Hamilton, the Jim Deacon dude, because he'll know about Grant and what they did and stuff like that. Because I think Grant were kind of a sort of precursor to Jim Deacon sort of thing, kind of idea, where I think Grant was all just one shop though. It was Grant's shop, whereas Jim Deacon was like a sort of conglomerate, a coagulation of people. So this is, I think it worked out, it was in 1985 or something like that, because somebody somebody in the comments at some point said, "Oh, I remember seeing them in the shop when I bought my West Tone Thunder. I bought that in 1985, and they had these on the wall." So that's sort of proper dating on these things. No serial number on this one, although it does have a sticker on the back of the headstock that says ASN2. So that could be the model. It could also be, I don't know, like a code from anything. I don't know. It's just like it's just a handwritten sticker. So these, as far as we know, were me and my pal Wayne are quite into these. Probably the only people in Britain who have them, really. Yoshi guitars are the exact same shape, so it's the same as a Yoshi. Yoshi guitars are very difficult to find because as soon as you type in Yoshi, you get Mario's friend, and as soon as you type in Yoshi guitar, you get Mario's friend playing a guitar, stickers, and the wee dinosaur dude. This has actually got a switch on it, which I can't remember what it does. I think it's it's got to be a series parallel, really, doesn't it? So that's it in series, normal P bass, humbucker mode. Both these basses are really good. This is a really good bass. Yeah, so as I said, I had 3 of these. So I had a single pickup silver one like this, a guitar, a red one single pickup, and then a red one with two pickups. And when I bought this, I was very much wanting to not have two the same, because I had the silver one and the red one for both basically the same guitar. So I managed to offload one onto Scott, because I mean he gave it 9 out of 10. And just amazing guitars. I've got another one. And they are stunning 3-piece neck and all that. It's a proper Japanese pro level guitar. So, and even though I said this is one that I've added to the collection, I did get rid of the red one. So I had 3 Grants at this time last year, and I've got 3 Grants now. So, and I pretty much bought this for exactly the same as what I sold the other one for. So I really kind of swapped. So although it's new to me, not doing too badly with the accelerating the amount of guitars I buy. Try and put a backing track because I've got and I only bought 1 guitar for myself, just one. That's good. So what guitar did I buy? Plenty of videos on this because I flipping love it. The Roadstar, which was definitely after the wee red bass. I wasn't ever really a fan of red, but you can see this is actually redder than my t-shirt, whereas this is actually slightly orangier than my t-shirt. It's almost exactly the same. But the chance of this being in tune, I had this out last night, so I doubt it's going to be in tune at first. Turn the amp on, what to do anyway. fuzz pedal, Delamo fuzz, which I've been enjoying back on my pedal board because it's quite fuzzy. I will one hit play up high fretboard sometimes. not me, this guitar. Absolutely loving this. So this is I've done so many videos and this, you'll be bored of hearing about it. It's a 1986 RG 140. So RG before RG Roadster guitar, so it's actually a Roadstar 2. But in 86, I've got two of them, that one there as well. They were RS up until 85, and then in 86 they became RG. And then in 87 the Steve Vai model came out, and the RG 550, you know, the one we all know the shape of. So this is a kind of a precursor, very similar to the Alan Holdsworth AH10, which is one of the it's Alan Holdsworth, who's nuts on the guitar. Basically, it looks exactly the same. The only difference between the two of them is his has an ebony fingerboard, not rosewood, and only one pickup, which is his own special. This is a Super 70. Oh, Super 70's kind of alright. You know, Van Halen used one. It's an alright pickup. And what else has this got? His bridge, although it's the same design as this, is made of aircraft grade aluminium. This isn't. But so basically it's now the same bodywood, tuners, all that shit's all the same. So it's kind of an Alan Holdsworth model. Which I suppose is again a bit of a precursor to the Gem idea as well, because obviously Steve Vai designed the Gem, like kind of with a lot of drawing shit out and changing stuff. So it was the first guitar like that, really the ultimate super Strat, I suppose. They do have a bit of a stigma about them, you know. As soon as you see a Gem, you're like, oh, you're just going to be playing Steve Vai. You can play normal stuff on them. Scott's got one. Well, his isn't a Gem. He's got a what's this? It's an RG something, 1500, something like that. Very high up, a Team J Craft one. It's just black, and it's almost intimidating how, like, if you imagine, I don't know, like say a Strat's like a Harley Davidson or something like that, you know, like a classy look motorbike, maybe not that fast and stuff like that, but a big engine, you know, great for cruising. Whereas the RG is kind of like one of your Japanese bikes. It kind of looks like a spaceship and does like 0 to 60 in half a second, and you know, absolutely wipes the floor with a Harley Davidson on every single performance aspect, apart from when you're looking cool. You know, it's like Easy Rider style. You're sitting there like that with your leather jacket on and all that stuff. You know, you turn up, you know, you go into the bar and you're, you know, wearing the hippie clothes and stuff with the long hair like that. Yeah. Whereas the Japanese, you know, if you come in the RG, whatever, I don't even know who makes them, Yamaha and Honda, everyone makes, all the Japanese companies, you know, it's like kind of like shaped like this. You come in wearing your special suit that's got the padding, you know, the leather and all that. You kind of walk like this, and you're all neon coloured with sort of fake leather, and you're like, it's not as cool. Whereas this, I would probably sit it somewhere in the middle, kind of like, I'm pretty sure Yamaha, at least I don't know anything about motorbikes, by the way, you may know this. They did like bikes at one point in the last sort of 20 years that kind of look a bit like a Harley, but they've got a better performance aspect. You know, they don't have the massive engine and the fuel economy and all that, and it's kind of designed with, you know, a bit more of a vibe to them, which I think is what this has. I think this has more character than a lot of guitars. Maybe not as particularly super interesting shape. It's obviously a modification of a Strat, but it's just awful good. I've had a few Roadsters through, doing quite a lot of things. I decided I wasn't going to get any more Roadsters. I've not yet found one that I really need. I've got the three. Well, I've got the Blazer, which I'm counting as a Roadster, and then Lena, and then this. But this bridge is phenomenal as well. You notice I was actually using it there, and it returns to pitch. I'm pretty sure this is actually going to stay as my Cranking House guitar. Can't really. It's so easy. It's so comfortable to play, and I think, to be honest, part of it is the fact it's quite a cheap one. It gives you much more oomph to play more on it. I mean, compared to compared to that one, which is like, that's a 530. This is a 140. So that's kind of like, that's a Roadstar Deluxe. So that's, I don't think it's quite the top of the range very nearly the top of the range, and this is very nearly the bottom of the range. And there's not a hell of a lot of difference in it, but with that one, you're kind of a little bit more, oh, this is quite expensive, I better play it well, I better not drop it or bash it or any of that stuff, whereas this is a bit more, no. Kind of like the same sort of vibe, the way there's people who think like a Les Paul Junior is better than a real Les Paul, because it's simpler and it doesn't have any extra shit you don't need on it. I mean, it's still quite well spec'd. These pickups are, I did a sound test you probably watched, and I really like these thin pickups. They're really, really vintagey voiced, super clean and you know, stratty. And then obviously the Super 70 and split coil or humbucker with a bit of distortion is I need to do back in the studio this month at some point with Cranking House. Probably with this guitar. Tempted to take in the MIDI guitar, but there's something about this that just got me so there. Really, I mean, 3 guitars in a year, and I've already discounted the Grant because I swapped it for another Grant. So yeah, I do well. I did. I'm going to do. I think I'll probably do a live stream tonight. Try to sell some of these because I've seen a guitar I want on eBay. I don't need any more guitars. Well, I do. I need more guitars. I only bought 2 for myself. You know what I mean? One of them was a tenner or a fiver or whatever it was. It's a tenner because I remember calling it a tenor bass, as in T-E-N-O-R, but actually T-E-N-N-E-R, £10. This I got in a trade for an amp I bought, which I may have bought last year, and I'm just decided to sell it just because I need the money. So buy this. This is awesome. It was never going to be mine though. I didn't buy this, or I didn't get this in a trade and think, oh, I'll keep that, and now I've decided to sell it. No, I was always going to sell it. It hung on my wall for a couple of months, then I cleaned it up and played it, and it's fucking amazing. For like a week I was totally going to keep it, and then it's like, no, it should go to somebody who wants this guitar. It is excellent though. So tonight I think my live stream might be a bit, or last night's live stream might be a bit of a sort of replace all these with guitars that are for sale and just try and sell some so I can buy this one that's on eBay, which is actually probably the most expensive guitar I've ever bought. I know. So it's like, you know, only 3 guitars last year. I did buy a Gibson SG, but I swapped it for a couple of guitars which I sold, a Roadstar and a PV Telecaster, and I got the orange amp. So the orange amp's new this year, which I'm playing through just now, which is lovely, but not necessary. Don't need it. Got the wee Laney, don't need it. And also, I believe this year, I think it was this year I bought this, the PV. Just before that, because the PV I got it didn't work and I got it fixed. So it's now all pat tested and brand new. But it's an amazing amp, right? It does lots of things. I just don't think it's as cool as the orange. I don't know. So I'm gonna. I did do a video not that long ago. I was gonna keep one of them and sell one of them, because I mean, obviously I've got the Sovtech for gigging. So the Sovtech 3x12 cabinet, that's going to be the best rig in the universe. But I quite like the idea of these two are like 1x12 combos, so you could do a gig and just take that amp, and even if the sound guy is a dick and doesn't know how to work anything, you can just these both go well loud enough to play along with a band anyway, without having to go through the PA or shit. I learnt that mistake from a gig I did before, taking the wee Laney, because it's only a 10-inch speaker. But it was difficult. I don't know what to do with that one. I should sell one of them and use some of the money to buy new valves for the wee Laney, because the wee Laney is a beautiful, fantastic sounding thing. The difference is in here I have it plugged through the 3x12 cabinet, which makes a huge difference and makes it sound amazing. The 10-inch speaker is just, it's not as good. I mean, obviously I can run either the orange or the Laney through the 3x12, which does make it sound a little bit better, you know. 10% better or something because you're playing through 3 speakers instead of 1, but it's not, 70% better like the wee Laney is when you put it through a big cabinet. Maybe a little bit under, I don't know. But then again, the Laney's like, it doesn't look that different size-wise when you put them next to each other, but the Laney's only like that deep. Or whatever, whereas these two are like cubes, they're like that deep. So it's like really just, the Laney is up here, yeah, you can totally just carry this. This is no bother at all. Whereas these things, it's like pure, oh for fucking Jesus. It's like, which studio we're in? We're in Berkeley, you're in room 13. Like, oh, what? It's about 100 yards of walking with this bastard. I think actually also this year was I'm going to take it to bits and fix it, the Carrollton amp, which really, it deserves its pride of place there with its basket weave front and all that, made in Coatbridge. But the volume controls, the volume and the gain are just so crunchy. So I've taken it to bits sort of and tried squishing it with contact cleaner, which I cleaned it up for a day and then it came back again. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the pots out and possibly either just buy new pots, assuming I can get ones that are the same, or possibly, which might be a precursor to buying new pots, take the pots to bits and like clean them with alcohol and like a cotton bud or a Q-tip inside it to actually proper clean it, not just squish it with contact cleaner, but actually clean the actual wiper. I might be able to make it work. It's a shame because I really do like that amp. It's just because it's so flipping loud and so flipping clean. When you've got a volume control that goes whenever you turn it, and then as at the full volume you kind of tap it and it comes back in again. You're just a bad contact in the volume control. Really puts me off. But I really can't recommend. I actually took this up my pal's house last night before. When I wasn't drinking last night. I was toying with almost doing a Hogmanay buckathon, but tonight's Sunday, so first steam of the new year. I actually took this down and nobody was really that impressed with it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? And it's like, an Ibanez. Fucking, did you being an Ibanez and matters an Ibanez or not, for fuck's sake. It does to me. Once you know what it is you're getting into, you know that picking up a Roadster or something that's going to be awesome. Although to be totally fair, out of all the Roadsters I've had, this is the best one. Or the ones I've seen. A lot of them are quite heavy and just not as refined as this. This is kind of the Alan Holdsworth thing where he changed the scoops and stuff and made it light. And it was also, I think I started saying this earlier on, it was the first basswood guitar, because that's what Alan Holdsworth wanted. He wanted a basswood. Ibanez are like, well, okay, that's what you want. And then when Steve Vai was doing his gem, had it all designed and stuff, like, what kind of wood do you want to make it out of? Any type of wood. And Steve Vai's just like, what's Holdsworth's one made of? Basswood, that. So that's what I'm saying. It's in the RG DNA more so with this guitar than most other ones, because it's the basswood thing, which wasn't a thing before that, I don't think, or not in any major guitars anyway. And I think, to be honest, most Fujigen and Ibanez are basswood tonight. That's basswood. That's not. That's basswood. That's can't remember. Alder, I think. That's basswood. I don't know what that is. Ash. I think it's Ash actually, that one. The Yamaha. That's Ash. That's basswood. So basswood. All the way. Right, enough talking. Cheers. This video might be going up tomorrow night because I'll probably be too hungover. I'm still hungover from... I went over my bottle of Bucky limit. The other night, I bought a wee bottle of Magnum as well. Had that first, drank the Bucky, and then it was just pure pickled. Got a lift home at midnight. Turned out it wasn't midnight. It was 3:30 in the morning. And then I was just basically knackered all day yesterday. It's just like after 30 years, 25 years of drinking the Buck, my body knows how to deal with a bottle of Bucky. It's like, no, you drink one bottle of Bucky, that's it. Don't drink more than that. No. More than that, we've got shit to deal with. It's like, my body's just used to drinking a bottle of Bucky. Sorted. I might have one tonight as well. But I just can't sing the virtues enough. I think there's still a couple of these on eBay, a couple £100. You know, it's like, just even if, I mean, it's not, in the grand scheme of things, £200 for a guitar is not an awful lot. I mean, that's, you're really talking about, I think even, was it not Andertons were doing like their, the East Coast guitars, which might be quite good. They're £200. And it's like, yeah, it might be pretty. It's not fucking as good as a Japanese Ibanez. It's just, no. I mean, it's just not. There's not, it can't be. It's physically not a possible thing. I still think you could put this up against any fucking Fender or anything like that. Especially with the year 1986. No, 1986, I'm pretty sure if you did buy a Fender, it was made by the same people that made this. So it's the same as a 1986 Fender, but it's better than a 70s Fender. Easily, and modern ones, obviously. But there's not a... People go, oh, I've got a really, really good Mexican Strat. It's not as good as this. It's not. It can't be. It doesn't. It does not compute. Well, that was fun. That is... I really... Even though I've only bought fucking 3 guitars, I've still not played them enough. I've not played this enough. I want to play that one a shitload more. Bought the FGN last year. Yeah. But again, that's the only one I really bought. That was what I class as a high dollar item. That's a proper guitar I bought for myself. The wee red bass I just bought because I figured that it was worth... It was a fucking tenner, for fuck's sake. That wasn't getting kept until I played it. As soon as I played it, it was like, this is getting kept. I would never sell it for a tenner. So I can't sell it. I feel like someone's going to offer me £100 for it. It would never sell for that, but I mean, it's good. And the Grant's really good as well. I'm just getting to that point now where it's like, I think any guitar that I don't pure love, I've got to get rid of. Or that's not worth any money. That's where that Ibanez Destroyer comes in. I do need to go in and rewire it a little bit and do a little bit of fettling with it. But I mean, no one, I can't sell that. Fucking some dick's covered in real snake skin, you know. It's not worth any money. One of those, you know. It's like, I can't sell that because there's only one in the world. The TSB bass is fucking brilliant. The Rose Morris Marauder is amazing. It's just not me. Something. It's not. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not. I've got too many guitars. If I had half a dozen, that would be fucking half that would be great. Because obviously none of the half a dozen will be the same as that. It's a completely unique sound. But I've got enough guitars apart from the one that I'm possibly going to be buying on. If somebody buys something off me, I'll put an offer in during the live stream tonight, I think. 45 minutes, there you go. Value for money. Maybe. Rock on. Catch you later.